After Dive live. Live here on YouTube. I am so happy to be here. So happy to be diving into all of the mess with you guys. And yeah, we're gonna get after it. So a couple housekeeping things. Well, one thing, I am alone. It's just me here today. Just me here today diving into everything with you guys. But we'll have some more guests coming up. We have a lot to get into though. Hi Vanessa, it's good to see you. My sister. Pop into the chat if you are here rolling in, if you come in a little bit late. A reminder, our Dumpster Dive Lives will always be available after it's done to stream on your own time. It will also be a podcast. So on Sundays, the audio from this live will be released as a podcast with all of our gossip about everything Bravo. So yeah, and then a couple other housekeeping things. I always say we, right? It is me and that camera. Me and the camera, are releasing a book dive tomorrow. My first venture into talking about literature, and by literature I do mean fairy porn. So Chelsea of Ono Chelsea, and I am the cute one. She is going to be joining me for a very special episode. We talk about the Sarah Mass universe, if you know Akatar and all that stuff, as well as the Empyrean, which is Fourth Wing, Iron Flame, and Onyx Storm. So if you just power down, that's okay. You can skip the episode or listen. Actually, no. Why would I ever say that? You should listen to the episode. Give me a stream, and you can learn a little bit about the the books I'm reading. But then all the Bravo talk will be here, right here, on the episode you're watching or listening to right now. So I want to start off by diving into kind of the big story of the year, I would say. Oh, hi Heather. Um, yes, I get it. Heather says that the day has tuckered her out, and I am with you. I had doctor's appointments today and work and everything, so I'm happy to be here. Hi. Oh my God, Steph. Okay, Steph. Steph just jumped into the chat. If you're watching this at a different time, she says that she just started Fourth Wing yesterday. Steph, do not listen to the episode that comes out tomorrow. Everything gets spoiled. So revisit that episode once you have read everything. So, but Fourth Wing is great. I loved especially the first book. No, I want to talk because we're doing a little book sesh tomorrow. Um, I want to spend some time today before we talk about Summer House to talk a little bit about the Real Housewives of Atlanta. Yeah. What is there to say? Oh, you know what? I have the soundboard here.
This is a potential mother.
R.I.P. R.I.P. to for the potential mother. Now, I have a lot of general thoughts about the way all of this unfolded, starting with if you don't watch Atlanta, we're talking about Kenya, Britt Eady. Britt Eady last episode threatened to bring her pistol and chains and some crazy shit. Oh, sorry, not chains, a whip. She said a whip. Chains sounds a little more sexual. Yeah, a whip and pistol and all this stuff, and it was just fucking really, really, really gross stuff. And then the next episode, Kenya retaliated with bringing revenge porn to the table. Um, I think all parties are wrong here. I've been threading a lot, and I think people think that I'm like defending Kenya's revenge porn. I'm not. I think Kenya went way too freaking far. The only thing I want to say, looking at the larger picture of everything, is um, say in a different franchise, say in Beverly Hills, if 25,000 Dana in season 2, because to me she feels like the one that would do it. If 25,000 said to Kyle Richards that she was going to get a gun, that would be bad. Production would have shut down. I'm positive they would have protected the Richards family, because they're the moral center of that show. I don't agree that they're the moral center of that show, but I think I think production believes that they are. But in this situation, Kenya goes unprotected. You know, in New Jersey, so many threats have happened, and production never got shut down. But once again, Kenya goes unprotected. Now, once again, Kenya was in the wrong. However, like if this whole storyline had played out somewhere else, I think we would have just kept the whole cast on the show and forged ahead. I don't know that that's a right or wrong answer, but it feels to me that like the black women are held to a very different standard than the white women on the network. So that was a big takeaway. It's also just a sad episode, to be honest with you. I was just kind of bummed to see Kenya go out like that. I don't know that she'll be back. I, when I heard the news initially, I could see her coming back just in figuring it out. But online, her discourse has been not great towards Bravo. Sorry, sneeze for a second. So yeah, I just wait. Is Brandy? Oh, wait, Steph. I'm not understanding what you said. Is Brandy said she got a blank and Rena brought a poster of Brandy? Oh, I see what you're saying, Steph. If Rena would be the one to do it actually in Beverly Hills on the Kenya side of things. Um, Evelyn, I agree with everything you said. Evelyn says I feel very badly Kenya wasn't listened to, but what she did was not okay and troublesome that she even went there. Agreed. I do not agree with Kenya. I just the whole situation makes my especially as a viewer of these shows, I start to um think about it. We've been watching the shows for so long, so I start to kind of think about things like a producer, like think about the production side of things and the hoops they had to jump through to get to this point. Like they had to keep filming a show. It's kind of crazy when you think about like they were making game time decisions to like, do we get rid of her? Do we keep her? Do we get rid of her? So, you know, maybe they would have done it differently after the season panned out, but it looks like the aftermath still will be crazy without Kenya there. The preview for next week looks really good. I also don't want this to be something that weighs on the season, and so that Kenya is gone. The maybe it won't weigh on the season as much that now that she's not there. I just wonder how I can't wait to see what everyone's thoughts are about Brit as they continue to film. Speaking of Brit, I was on the Housewives Nightcap podcast. That's Access Hollywood's Bravo podcast. And Brit was on the episode, not with me, but we're in the same episode. So scared. Um, I was frightened. So I did my interview with them before they had Brit on. We did not cross paths, but in my interview, I like kind of talked shit about Brit. I don't know. It was kind of, you know what? I love hosting. I want to do more hosting and interviewing because I really enjoy it. But the one thing that I would struggle with in general is like like having to engage with people that you vehemently disagree with, but to make headlines and content with. Like I don't know. I actually don't know. I don't know how good I would be at faking it. So I would have struggled interviewing Britt on a day like this weekend. So, but check it out if you want to hear more of my thoughts on everything happening there. They might have cut out a lot of my shadiness, but I have not listened yet. Um, WWC says Kenya did the same thing Britt did in season 6. Yeah. So this has come up a lot online. Kenya filmed a scene. Do you remember when Kenya had that uh that gay friend? I can say it. Well, I have another word I was going to say, but I can't say that on YouTube Live. She had that gay friend that was always around, and they were like in her closet, and she talks about how she bought a gun because of um Apollo and Phaedra and something like that. And I agree. Here's the thing: I don't agree with what Kenya did. I don't agree with what Britt did. I'm just saying in 2025 the show has evolved since then. We can't like everyone's track records of what they've done. We're letting Phaedra back on the show. Like the track records of what these women have done is crazy. So like we got to just focus on what we have in front of us, and what's in front of us is that this happened. You know, I agree. Kick says is this Kicks. Kick says she feels like you're a Kenya fan. I literally said I don't agree with anything that Kenya did. I'm just saying there is bias. There's racial bias on Bravo. So that's where I'm at. We're gonna move on because yeah, Steph says yeah, it was 10 years ago. So much has changed since even 2020. I agree. Yeah, there's y'all. If we want to really, okay, let me get on my soapbox. If we want to get into the weeds on all the things that was on Bravo in 2011, we're gonna find some scary stuff. We're gonna find some stuff, tough stuff regarding literally everything we find problematic now, whether that's like racial biases, body stuff, like transness, gayness. It's a lot. So we can't. It's hard. It's hard loving reality TV because you gotta sometimes you gotta forgive and forget and remember these people are television stars are trying to make good content. So yeah, yeah. Kick says we'll kick. If you're not looking at the chat, this is going to be a wild thing to say, but Kick says so many trans slurs. She doesn't say trans slurs. I'm saying her comment is so many trans slurs. Yeah, old reality TV. Oh my God, Kix and I watched a lot of it when we were doing our throwback recaps, and so much nonsense. Okay, I have a couple other hot topics, and then we will get into Summer House. Okay, next, oh, y'all, Gia versus Bethany. I'm glad that. Oh, sorry. One more comment coming in. Evelyn says, "I'm glad that the ex producer who was fired from being on OnlyFans is now speaking up." Evelyn, I don't know about this. I don't know that you have the space to write it all out in this chat. But I'm gonna Google this or DM me on Instagram like your details here because I want to learn more about that. Um. Okay, so Gia and Bethany are going at it online. Y'all, we've been watching these shows for so long that a child from like a child that was a baby on the show is fighting with a housewife that was a housewife when she was a baby. And now they're both consenting adults engaging in online fodder. Yeah, so so for those who don't know, Louis or Lewis, however you want to call him, Revelius, whatever, Revelius, that is absolute. Maybe it is his last name. I don't know. I honestly don't know. Teresa's new husband, Louis, is being sued for, I believe it's like 5 million. Let me look, Louis Revelius lawsuit. He's getting sued for a shit ton of money. $5 million, yeah. And so yes, he's getting sued for $5 million. Of course, Gia is writing so hard for her stepfather, Louis. Because that's what the Judites do. They really stand by their family no matter what. And so yeah, she's standing by Louis, and Bethany has to make everyone's business her personality. I say that as I'm sitting here on with a mic and a camera talking about other people, but on TikTok specifically, laying in bed, just like I can't believe that, you know. And so she a whole series on. I think we actually might have talked a little bit about it with Samantha last week, but yeah, she was taking to TikTok to talk about the whole lawsuit, and then Gia got in the comments and was coming for her, being like, "You don't know what you're talking about. Shut the fuck up." All that stuff. She didn't say "shut the fuck up." I should watch my tone. Allegedly. So Bethany got. This is where it gets good. Bethany puts out a statement that reads as this: I made my first million before I even knew who Gia Judice was. So forgive me if I'm not taking financial lessons from the daughter of a walking tax case study. When your mom and stepdad owed nearly $3 million to the IRS, the smartest move might be to stay quiet, or at the very least, don't go online teaching others how to manage their money. I don't have a PhD in economics, but I do have a multi-million-dollar company, clean finances, and the good sense to call a lawyer before I call a stylist. If Gia ever needs a mentor, I'm available, as long as she brings a calculator and an actual tax return. Brutal. Took the words out of my mouth, Evelyn. I, y'all, it's been a long road with Bethany. I haven't been a stan of Bethany in so long, but then I'm a stan of her all of a sudden when she does stuff like that. Um, but it is great. Yeah, Steph in the comments says an actual tax return. That's what gagged me at the end. An actual tax return. Go off. You better drag this little 19-year-old. Don't come for me, Gia. I'm just here relaying the news, and she gathered you. The news is new. This just in. You got gathered. So yeah, that's what's happening with Gia and Bethany. Can't wait to see how that turns out. Speaking of Gia, Gia is in a new show called um, NYC Next Gen. Now, I don't know about y'all. I always like to think that we're all in the same age bracket. You know, when I engage with the listeners online, I know that may not be true, but I, for myself, when I saw those children, I said, I, I don't know if I don't know that I have it in me. I don't know that I have it in me to watch that. They are children. There's something about also like I live in New York City, and so seeing these New Yorkers run around New York, I'm like, I don't know. Also, y'all, do we need to see the Beermans on TV anymore? And like, I don't buy that Ariana lives in New York City. I believe she got cast on a show that films in New York City. Um, I never been a Brooks Marks person. Season one, he was fun, but then after that, it was kind of a wrap for me. Um, and I always love a Burris. Riley Burris is beautiful. I'm here for her. I don't know how interesting she'll be, but and then who's the other one? There's one more kid, and then the rest are their friends. They're friends. I don't know. The young stuff only works best when it's really really messy, and that trailer didn't give messy. It gave like I just got off the bus and I have my suitcase and I'm gonna see if make New York my playground. Like that's like what that gave. What I want is bartenders down at like Brother Jimmy's in the Midtown East fighting over who made the worst vodka soda. Like that's the show. That's the show I would like to watch. But alas, I actually think Brother Jimmy's is RIP. If y'all have never been to Brother Jimmy's, it's I think is it a New York only? Wait, I have to look this up now. Brother Jimmy's. No, I think they're located. They are located. Oh no, the other some in Maryland. It looks like Brother Jimmy's is like the Chili's of sport. Like it's like a New York City sports bar Chili's. Um, Kick says was Kicks. No, that was not that place. Um, no Kicks in the chat is talking about this place has really good nachos in the city. Okay, if you guys need a good bar food spot, it's called Phoebe's. Best bar food in the city. Best fucking nachos. They make their nachos where it's chips and then cheese and then the toppings and then chips and then cheese and the toppings and then like a lasagna, right? I can't stand when you get nachos and it's like only the top layer has the toppings. Like, why are we not putting the toppings throughout? But, anyways, Brother Jimmy's would have been a great reality show. They have since closed in the city. Shout out if you ever went to a Brother Jimmy's. But once again, the premise of the show doesn't have like a grounding like thing. Their thing is just like we're here, and I do kind of have some money. Also, it's definitely going to be a lot of influencers. Like they're all influencer adjacent if they're not an influencer. And I know in 10 years I will have nothing and the influencers will have everything. But for now, I just don't know that I want to watch it. I say that. Tune in for my YouTube lives on NYC Next Gen. Last thing before we get to Summer House. Why is it doing that again? Like I want it to look like that. Can a tech person call me? I gotta figure that out. Last thing, um, Candace, Candiace, as it's spelled, Dillard Bassett posted a photo of herself at NBC Universal with kind of like a very coy caption. Our prayers have been answered. Their prayers have been answered. Y'all, you know I'm a Basset hound. I ride for that lady. I do not ride for those claiming that I ride too hard for Kenya. I ride too hard for Candace. Okay? Both of them problematic, okay? Um and I love her so much. There is no one funnier in that confessional chair. She's like Portia level funny to me. So I pray this meeting was not just about the traders. I pray it was about um, both the traders and Potomac. That would be ideal. I don't think she has enough time to do both of those things, but that would be ideal. She would be so good on the traders, y'all. Oh my god. I feel like I'm getting a little like raspy. Oh my god. She would be so good on the Traitors. So yeah. Okay, let's dive into Summer House. Summer House. So this is Summer House season 8. Nope, season 9, episode 9. Max is in the comments, says Potomac hasn't started filming. Yes, I do know that. So it would make sense that she was there. Summer House season 9, episode 9. At the end of this short recap, we will answer some questions. So if you guys have a question, I have it over here in my chat and I'm looking at it. Put it in the chat. We'll come back to it at the end of our Summer House recap. I also have your questions that you put in on Instagram. So thank you for all those. And let's get after it. So episode 9. No, I don't know about y'all, but it felt to me like they took a break in filming and this episode happened after that break. Like I think we missed at least a weekend because Kaimanda was in Italy, and there's no way that it was Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then they met back up on Friday. And in that time, Kaimanda had gone to a wedding in Italy and came back. It doesn't make any sense. There had to have been at least a weekend because I think some things have unfolded like in that time. Like I feel like that gave more time for Jesse and Lexi to really accelerate on the relationship. I don't know. There just felt like there was a gap. So, Jesse and Lexi in this in between time, um, Lexi met Jesse's parents, and Jesse, it's revealed, didn't want Lexi to meet his parents, and he told Wes that he felt that he got bullied into meeting, introducing her to his parents. I I'm of a couple minds here. I don't think it is. Oh, Steph says there was a comment that said 2 weeks later after the pirate party, which was no, the pirate party was not last week. Last week was the I don't know. I don't know. Semantics. No, so the meet the parents. I candidly, my partner Brian and I, we met in November. We started dating in November of 2019. We became boyfriends in December of 2019. And literally like the week we became boyfriends, um, my parents were here for Christmas, and I was like, "Hey, I, you don't have to meet them. Like, I don't care, but like they are here if we want to facilitate that. It is insanely early, and I acknowledge that to him. But and he was like, "Yeah, I guess we should." And then they met, and in hindsight, it was really early because like we didn't even know each other that well yet. We were just like ready to be boyfriends. But I also didn't think Kix and I's parents are so chill that like it wasn't weird. Like we had a nice time. So uh, I don't really think it's that big of a deal to meet the parents, unless one of the one of the persons thinks it's a really big deal. So, and it's a fun story. Also, need I say, they met in December 2019. We then didn't see I don't think he saw them again for another like 2 years because of COVID. So it actually the world worked in a very ideal way for that. So then wait, oh yeah, Kick says my ex girlfriend met our mom and then cheated on me. Yeah, so Kix had a girlfriend for a couple weeks, and she met me and mom. We went to brunch, and then 2 weeks later, she cheated on Kix with her former fuck buddy, who was a man. So crazier things have happened. Kix, you dated for months? Okay, well, we'll talk about that offline. 1 month. Okay, I can't. Y'all, once again, Kix is crazy up in this chat. She's getting we will get her in one of these lives soon. It's just a matter of time of getting her to actually watch maybe one of the shows that we're going to talk about in the live. Um so anyways, back to back to Jesse and Lexi. Yeah, I I don't think it's that big of a deal. And Jesse is so close with his parents, it seems, and they live, I think, in the city or very close. I don't think it's a big deal. What is annoying though is that Lexi is like that Jesse is claiming Lexi bullied him into it. I just wish men were less precious about the traditional rules of relationships. Like, it's okay that she wants to take some time before you get exclusive. It's okay that she wants you to meet her parents. It's like everything to me is case by case. Like in a guy's mind, I think they're so a straight man is so simple minded. Okay, and just like it's like, well, this is when we do this. This is when we do this. This is when we do this, and it not in any different order. So I don't know. I just think that I just think that he needs to relax. Because I think Lexi, honestly, she's growing on me. Samantha, okay, Steph, we have the same mind. You said it as I said it. She's growing on me. I don't know about she's growing on me as like a superstar, a super reality TV star, but her she is good people. Like I think she's very kind and like she's just trying to have a good time here in the house. Um and I think he's just trying to cover up for his bad behavior and like make himself look better. Like I don't do y'all think that he would have introduced her to the parents if he hadn't sucked a toe and flirted with Sierra? I mean, I'm convinced that's why they're exclusive is because of that. So, um Vanessa says I think we would have loved loved Lexi without the Jesse storyline. Yeah, I think the, for me, the biggest thing with Lexi is just the age. The age bothers me. As the cast continues to get older, like Sierra is younger than a lot of them. But she entered like 5, 6 years ago. Like Lexi is entering now when people are in their 40s, and so it's just kind of tough. It's just tough. There's just not a lot of things to talk about, you know. Um, but Lexi was on Watch It Happens Live last night, and I do believe they are not together anymore because she was just talking shit about him the whole time. She was like, Jesse is a fuck boy, and he was just doing crazy shit that I'm learning now. So, but she wasn't like upset about it. She was kind of laughing about it, like she was just like, "It is. I'm so beyond this. Like I'm dating a male model now, so who cares?" Um, Also another part of this episode. So Jesse is taking out a lot of his like frustrations with the whole toe sucking thing on Imrul. And something about it does not feel good. I just don't like that he's being mean to the one non-white person in that house to me. This just feels weird, guys. It feels weird. And like I think he's just kind of jealous of the fact that sorry, the one non-white male. Sierra is obviously not white. Um, and I don't just I don't like to see him trying to like garner this weird like mob mentality on why like he doesn't love Emerald. He's not family. He's not a part of this. It's like it just feels weird. I don't know. I just it just feels weird. It feels yucky. When I think Emerald is so kind. Did you see on Instagram that he is opening a um an elementary school in his hometown in Bengali for underprivileged children? I'm like, he's a very kind human. Like he is a nice man, and I think he's very attractive. And it sounds like he treats women well too. God forbid we have someone who does that on these shows. Um, but Vanessa, yes, I'm sorry, I did see your thing. Vanessa says, "Do you think toe suck actually meant tip sucked?"
How many people were scared? Me too. I was really, really scared.
I that sounds scary. It's sucking on just the tip the whole time. I don't want to demonstrate it, but I don't think you could handle. I don't think he could handle just the tip. Yeah. Um, Max says Emerald needs more mature men than that are in the summer house. I agree. He's just much more mature than them. So yeah. But Jesse does have a Shabbat dinner. Yeah, Cakes and I did not grow up. Our next door neighbors were Jewish, and then that was like the only Jewish family that we had in our. We grew up in the whitest place that you could white, and just white Methodist. Like that was the vibe everywhere, right? There was like one temple, one mosque, and one Catholic church. What are they called? I can't remember. The Catholics can take some shit. Okay. Um, no, but the Shabbat, Shabbos, like everything is so fun to me. I've gone to so many dinners with my friends from college and in the city, and just hearing him sing like the Jewish songs and everything. I find it. I really find it so sweet. So that gave Jesse like a like button for me on this episode because though I do enjoy how family oriented he is, like even just with his friends, it's just everything is so inclusive and like I just really like it. I just love it. And it's nice to see people's traditions like on these shows. So yeah, I think he did a Shabbat dinner last year too, but I love this as well. And also like a roast and potatoes and red wine. And I think you do bagels sometimes too. Or is that just on I don't know. I don't know. Once again, white, Methodist white. No, but I really enjoyed it until Carl and Lindsay got after it. Now, Lindsay is so wrong in this. And Paige says it at the top of the episode. Um, and he Paige says, I love Lindsay. We've gotten a long, long way in our friendship. I love her, and I love that when she's wrong, she just sits in it and just believes her own bullshit. It truly is so fun to watch. And she's saying this so complimentary. And I love, love, love this budding friendship. But Lindsay, yeah, Lindsay, she, last episode, Gabby kind of told her that this woman, Lil, there's like a crossover timeline. There's a little timeline blur in where Carl started talking to Lil, and then where Lil jumped into where Lil jumped into the DMs, and then where they ended their marriage or ended their engagement. So there's a timeline discrepancy, and Lil, we learned as the viewers because Lil posted on Instagram that they started talking in October. I didn't realize they were going to address this on camera, but Lindsay, with belly out at the Shabbat dinner, is sitting there being like, you're a fraud. You're a loser and you lied." And Carl stands his ground and goes and gets his phone and shows her that lo and behold, he did not do anything wrong with talking to Lil. And Lindsay is looking like God damn it, I should have pulled the photo because oh Steph, we will get to the thing you put in the chat. We get to the photo of of Lindsay, and she's just like, she's like, wow, I'm wrong. Let's sit in this and figure out how maybe no one can acknowledge it. Like she's like not making eye contact with her, and she's like, wow, I'm wrong. Anyways, I'm mad still. It's so good. She's such good reality TV, y'all. Oh my god, wait. I haven't said anything about this yet. Y'all, I should have said this at the top of the episode. Guys. I saw Lindsay Hubbard and the baby and the boyfriend in Chelsea on Sunday going to brunch. I was sitting at brunch and I see Lindsay, I see this woman holding her baby and a man pushing a stroller walk up to the window of the brunch spot we were at. And she looks through the window, literally looks straight at me, and I don't say anything. I was with two of my friends that one of them watches Summer House, one of them does not. And I was like, guys, please don't turn around, don't look. Lindsay Hubbard is standing right behind you in the window, looking to see if she'll be able to get into this brunch spot with both her boyfriend and her baby. Now, once again, we have not seen the boyfriend or the baby. So, I and the boyfriend, I was expecting like tall tech bro kind of vibes. He's like short. I think I should have like taken a better mental photo of like his looks. He looked very average to me in height and face. Now I'm average height. I'm average or below average height. I went to the doctors today and they were like, "You're really 5'8", but if you want to feel better, I'll put 5'9" on the paper." So this is coming from an average king. Okay. Um, But the one thing that did pop out to me that was so Lindsay Hubbard is she did look like she'd been fighting with him. They looked like she just looked frustrated. Like, you know how Lindsay just like stomps around the summer house when something's not quite right, and it was so funny. I have not seen Lindsay in the wild before. I have seen Carl many times in the wild before. Carl and I have interacted. I think Carl's probably the person I've interacted the most with on Bravo. Carl took my spin class twice back when I was an instructor. We also taken Barry's on. We were on the treadmill next to each other a couple times. Kix and I met him a couple weeks ago. I saw him at the marathon, and then we saw him at the airport the other week. Lindsay, I'm a single time um, viewer of Lindsay, so this was very very exciting. In court, you know what? I'm shaking the table a little bit. They probably perfectly happy. He looked very sweet, carrying all the baby things for her. She just looked a little frustrated. That could have not been at him. So who's to say? I do want her to find love. But yeah, so they get in a fight. Timeline is revealed. Everything's fine, and Lindsay sits in that. Now let's go back to Lil for a second. They do a flashback because Carl says, we went on another date and I realized I'm going to keep dating. Kix, Kix is in these comments always defending Lindsay as if people are saying bad things. No one said anything bad about her. No one said anything bad about her. No, so they cut back to this date with Lil. And sometimes I can't have the chat here because I feel like my recap is so distracted. And Lil and Carl are on their second and final date. And Lil goes, "Hey, Carl, I brought you something." And then she pulls out a lemon, a fresh lemon, not like a lemon paperweight, like not like a lemon flavored something, snack, a pastry, a lemon that she picked up at the farmer's market, probably in like East Bushwick, as she traveled 3 hours to get into Chelsea to meet him for brunch. Um, and he's sitting, and she was like, because when life gives you lemons, you make lemonade, and you could just keep it or you can use it. I was like, this woman is diabolical. I think that she is high on marijuana after it looks like she took an edible, went to a 3 hour yoga class, and then showed up at brunch and was like, wait, I need to bring a gift. What about a lemon? It was, y'all, it made me cackle. And once again, remember what I said last week that, or 2 weeks ago, that when I think of Lil, I think of my jazz teacher in college, Lil Carter. So yeah. Um. Anyways, that was. Oh no, we got to get to the DJ set. What am I thinking? So then the next day we get the big DJ set. Kyle's first DJ appearance in Montauk. And so the whole house goes out for a day party. I have to admit, though, this looked fun. Some of the things they do don't look fun to me, and they look kind of too straight. This looked like a good time. A day party is fun. It really is. And honestly, as we age and as Lexi gets younger, she'll learn. But day parties are where it's at. Day parties is really, really where it's at because you get to be home by like 8 o'clock. You can watch an episode of your favorite show, have a slice of pizza and a soda, and go to bed. So, day party looks a blast. We also got some really good camera work. Also, go back and watch the episode. In the episode, everyone's doing, you know how like you write something on your phone? Um, but when people hold up things and they like type like play Rihanna, right? There's a girl in the front of the there's a girl in the front of like one of the shots and she's like this. She's like but I need to go back and see what it was she said on it. Um, but it looks like a good time. And then Paige pulls Sierra aside, where we get a big reveal of some more anxieties that Paige is having about her relationship with Craig. essentially saying like it just doesn't feel like we're on the same page anymore. He doesn't feel like my person, maybe, and I love him more than anything, but like it's just not working. And not that the conversation was so riveting, but it's more so insane to see Craig act so blind to everything that was going on when his girlfriend was. If she was this unhappy when he wasn't there, I promise you, when you guys were face to face, that she was she wasn't like, I can't imagine she was just pretending to be happy this whole time until she broke up with him in November, December. I think that they were struggling and he just was ignoring it. So, in next episode we see her crying about it all. So it's just I we've all had girlfriends that have been and boyfriends and who have been in situations where you can tell that they're not ready to say like I need to break up with them. I've been the person who's not said it, right? And they're trying to say all these different things around it. And I'm hoping next week Sierra's like, do you need to break up with him? So, and that kind of wraps up the episode of Summer House. I want to get to some listener questions before we wrap up. So put some in the chat here. Y'all are really popping off in the chat today. I love to see it. Um, Let me pull them up right here. Let's start with Courtney because she got one in the chat right away. She says, "Did Craig?" Oh, and also, by the way, on if you're listening to the version of this, I'm sorry, I've been a little chaotic. I did also take an edible before this. um, no, if it's feeling a little chaotic, pop in live 7 p.m. Thursday. You can get into the chat. Also, if you want a question answered here on the show when you go back and listen later, hit me up on Instagram. I'm happy to answer it in the live if you do that. Let me open up some of these questions. So Courtney in the chat says, did Craig want to just hold on to their couple brand or want to hold on to Paige? I don't know that they have a brand together. Like, I don't know what that brand is. Like, they are a mainstay couple on Bravo. I guess that's probably what you mean, but I I don't know that they have like, to me their issue honestly though is they always appeared as separate entities, which I don't think is a bad thing in a relationship, but that's not the relationship that Craig wants. Like I love like my relationship, we are extremely independent with like our own lives and I really enjoy that about it. And I think that, but like we're not like a like power couple, you know what I mean? I don't know. Where Craig like wanted to be like this is the couple of Bravo, where Paige was like, yeah, I like this stupid boy, but I also like hosting red carpets, my podcast, making millions of dollars. Like I just think they weren't on the same page. So I think I think he was holding on for a family and all those things, which she has said to him she didn't want. Yeah. Okay, let me put up another question. Sierra, Paige, and Amanda not being girls on the after show. I feel vindicated. Now, I didn't see the after show. Can someone tell me about it in the comments and I can recap it? Um, I'm kind of team like they're girls when they want to be. I don't dislike them in general. I don't know. I'm kind of neutral on all the girls Summer House. I think they're necessary for the show, but I don't really stand any of them. Do you think Kenya is on pause like Dorinda? And also, I think Britt shouldn't be back next season. I think Kenya is not on pause. I think she is done, unfortunately. After between the Bravo slander she got in Andy's comments on a post on SiriusXM, she's also starting this YouTube channel where she's just gonna like air it all. I don't know. I don't know that she's coming back anymore. At least not for a while. Also, Dorinda's not on pause. Dorinda's fired and she's never coming back. What would she come back to? She can't come back to this New York. So, do you think Andy is also fed up with Kyle's storyline? Kyle Richards. Yeah, 1,000%. It was clear. He actually got heated at the reunion. Um, at her girl fight. Yeah, they were heated because he's like, and I'm so team Andy on this, right? Because he's like, in as he says, with all due, with all due, Kyle did a whole queer baity um, music video with Morgan that only enhanced the rumors, like amplified the rumors that she was in a relationship with her. And y'all, Morgan is a celebrity already. Is she a Z-list celebrity? Honestly, I think she's a little higher than Z-list. I think people do know who she is if you're in like the country world, if you're in the lesbian country world. Um, so I do think she's more famous than Kyle's making it out to be. But Kyle, it's your fault that she has all of this banter happening around her because you appeared in her music video, you put her on the show, you're doing all these things that make it hard to like not think that they're together. So I think Andy is definitely pissed. Kix put something in. I don't know if you guys are watching The Pit, but she says fuck Mary Kill, Dr. Robbie, Dr. Abbott, and Dr. Landon. I forget who Dr. Abbott is. Wait, Dr. Abbott, The Pit. Oh, I probably marry Dr. Robbie, F Dr. Langdon, and kill Dr. Abbott. That would be my 2 cents. Steph says, "Do you think Kyle and Kathy are Chinese?" No, y'all. We're all a little bit of everything, right? Isn't that what 23andMe would tell us? Are they Chinese? Here's the thing. At some point, can you claim that you are something? If you are one like 200th Chinese, are you Chinese? You have Chinese ancestors, but are you Chinese? I guess that would be kind of my general question. There's a lot of clip sound bites in this that are crazy. Please, no one soundbite. Are you Chinese? Um, yeah, I don't think that they are. But I also hot take. I do not care for Kathy anymore. I think her antics are so put on. They're so not funny to me. I don't think she needed to be at that reunion. I don't. Beverly Hills is y'all know if you listen to the podcast, it is not my favorite these days. Okay, is there any other? Put some questions in here. We're gonna wrap up here in a second. If there are any, wait, would it be funny if Carl was dating Lil Mama instead of Lil? No, we don't talk about Lil Mama. Lil Mama is not a good person. She said some crazy things. Although lip gloss is a certified bop. Um, let's see. Anything else? I'm trying to look at these comments. Did you ever? Did you ever watch Paris in Love? That show. Oh, with Kathy and Paris and the girls. No, I did not. I saw clips though, and she did feel a little. Her tone was different there than it is in Housewives. You have to think that that's intentional, right? But she also was so kooky. The stuff about Paris not like how Kathy didn't meet the baby or like didn't know the baby was even a baby. Then I didn't watch the show. I should know more about it, but look it up. If you didn't watch Paris in Love like me, there's a whole thing about how oh no, guys, I lost. Oh, there we go. I'm back. My camera went down. Um, there's a whole thing about how Paris like didn't tell anyone that she was having a baby, and then she just brought the baby. So, Courtney asks, "Is Jen Tilly and Bose, excuse me, the way forward for Beverly Hills?" I don't think Jennifer Tilly is. Oh, I think she can be a friend of again. I guess she's too much of a fan, and she talked about it there. She was like, "I am a super fan of Housewives. So like this is crazy." It's like I I know it's like Drag Race where it's like drag queens now became drag queens because they watched Drag Race. Housewives became Real Housewives now because they watched Housewives essentially. Like they started to dress, look, associate, act like a housewife so they can become a housewife. So Jen Tilly has a career long past Housewives, but I still just don't think she's the right fit because she's a fan. Bose is I really like Bose. And this will be our last question. Courtney says, "Have you thought about Karen Huger and what she's doing today yet?" I think about her every day. I thought about her recently. I was like, "What?" Oh, I think it was like something happening in Housewives news, and it was like, what would Karen think of this? Maybe it was the Kenya thing. I don't know. Yeah, I miss her, but I think she deserves to be there. um, okay, maybe one more. I was listening to Nora, and she asked her brother what he would talk about for 25 hours, a la Cory Booker. Tom, what would your 25-hour speech consist of? I think I could do a dissertation on the entire series of the Real Houses of New York. I think I could go almost like I could probably bulk like 2 episode recaps together. Like it could be like episode 1 and 2 of season 1. I could get there. Like I think I could recap the whole series. I know it so well. It's disturbing. Um yeah. Let me know what y'all's would be. That's a good question. I really like that question. Okay, well, this brings us to the end of the live. We will be live once again next week, Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time here on YouTube. This episode will also be released as a podcast if you can't make it on the on your podcast platform on Sunday. And you can always watch all episodes of Dumpster Dive now here on YouTube. Expect a new episode of the podcast tomorrow with Chelsea. We're talking everything fantasy books. We're talking books, no reality TV, just books. This was the Bravo chat of the week. And then next week we have the beautiful ladies of the Bravo docket on the podcast. So they were on the podcast back in the day, in the early days, and we're having them back. So I can't wait to talk to the Bravo docket about everything Kenya. I want to dive into revenge porn. Cut that clip. And it's gonna be great. So yeah, interview with the Bravo docket and another live next week. I really do love you guys. I'm having so much fun doing these, and y'all are the best. I'm gonna play this outro music, and while this edible continues to hit.